Hi there, and welcome to a new feature called Storytime. Storytelling is a time-honored way of communicating sometimes difficult concepts in a way that are easily understood. These Storytime videos will be actual stories from my past, but with a fairy tale twist and a moral at the end. Today's story is The Duke and the Wizard Try to Impress a King. The players are King John, Duke Andre, and the young wizard Strauss. Once upon a time, there was a duke who impressed the king with his knowledge on cow herding. He convinced the king that if there was a magic that could allow all the cows to be herded in the exact same way, that King John would get more milk and tax revenue. Probably some steaks too. Now, Andre was a smart man, and though he knew a lot about cow herding, he didn't know anything about magic. He searched high and low for a wizard to help him out. Now, all the experienced wizards turned down the proposal, since they knew it was very hard to do. But he did find a young and naive young wizard named Strauss who would take on the challenge. They worked together for quite a while and went through many challenges, and both found that the magic took way longer and cost way more than they originally thought. A great deal of the problem was that the cow herders needed to be involved in the magic, and they didn't want to be. They were afraid of it. They dawdled and set up obstacles, never enough to be obvious, but enough to be seriously delay the magic. They just didn't see any value for them in what they were doing. Eventually, the king became impatient, and he called for the Duke and the Wizard to come to him. The seneschal presented the bills to the king, and the magic was so expensive that he was going to have to talk to his council of lords. Though angry, King John showed his mercy that day and didn't chop their heads off. A little while later, the magic was finally completed, but the cow herders still wouldn't use it. They hated it. So the magic was complete, but the king wasn't getting any value from it. Once again, King John called for the pair. Duke Andre argued that it was the right magic. Everything was correct. If only the cowherders could be forced to use the system, all would be well. He had, however, no idea how to make this happen. The king decided to cut his losses. He promoted Duke Andre to ambassador of a faraway kingdom, and he was never seen again. The young wizard, however, was given a year to make the magic valuable, or he would lose his head. For the next 10 months, the wizard flew from place to place, finding problems that his magic would solve. He met with the other dukes and found ways to count their gold, and even better, find them more gold to collect. The dukes were ecstatic, and in less than a year, the magic was used across the kingdom, solving many problems, and the wizard Strauss didn't lose his head. Now, as I said, this is a true story, and it was about business intelligence being incorporated into a company. The problem was that the company thought of it from a corporate perspective and didn't really think about how it can solve the actual problems that the company was having at the time. They tried to focus it too much and didn't communicate that with the people involved. The people in the business units didn't enter the data, didn't want to enter the data. They saw no value to enter the data because at the end, they weren't going to get anything out of it. It would just be useful for corporate. This was the problem. They really didn't do the process right and work with everybody beforehand to try to get a consensus of what was necessary. So when this project all fell apart and that we had invested over $1 million at that point in time, we had to find something to do. Now, I was the young wizard in the story, of course, and what I did do is go across the world and talk to all the people that were the owners of the business units and found ways to solve their problems. This wasn't too hard, and in reality, most of the problems were very, very simple. So I was able to do it and standardize the stuff that they were going on. This BI system and the whole information management systems that we put underneath it were something that were very successful, and that for 5 years we're running all of the reporting within the company, and we used it to help out everything from channel management all the way down to our sales quota processing. So the whole moral of the story is, when you're going on a big project like this, you have to take a look at it and make sure that everybody involved understands what's in it for them, either the picture or the vision or their day-to-day. And if we're able to do that, it becomes much easier to sell it and get them involved in the project and participate. If people don't see any value in it for them, it's not going to work. Thanks. Have a great day.